Hello, Scott here. Hope you're well. Hope you had a good week in the markets last week and got a few profits. So most of the big US news is now behind us, thankfully. So not too much disruption, hopefully, in the markets, but some news around. So always keep an eye on your calendar, my Forex Factory calendar, just to make sure you're not trading through big news events for your currency. Okay, there's a few things for this morning, so we'll go straight to the charts and I'll show you what I'm seeing. Okay, so we start off at the top of my watch list with Aussie CAD, and here's the higher time frames: monthly, weekly, daily on the bottom, and we have a downtrend. It's broken below this support level on Friday, and most likely bearish pressure will continue today. We'll see. Looking at the lower time frames, what do we see here? There's a 4 hour, 1 hour, and 5 minute. I'll zoom into the 1 hour. And what do we have here? We have a strong downtrend. Break the trend line, break the 1 hour 50 briefly. Now it's strongly back down below it. So it's looking like the downtrend will continue. Are we oversold? Go back to the daily. Look at our RSI. Yeah, it's pretty oversold. It's just touching that green line, maybe. So caution. So back to the 1 hour fibs from the highs. So the lows on Friday. And the fib 382, this red line, lines up pretty well with the pivot, daily pivot. And entry around the 382 or the pivot on the pullback. The stop behind 0.75 and take it down to somewhere. Go down to the S1 of the daily pivots. Could be a possible option for your profit. And anything else? Not really. Do you have any fibs in play? Not really. You could say this is a wave 1, in which case wave 3 is the longest wave. That's the wrong button. And if we did 1.272 extension from pullback to here, say, then it'd be right down here. So you could push your profits a bit lower. Remember, we are in oversold territory on the daily, so I wouldn't want to push it too far. Maybe that's a good place to stop. So there's Aussie CAD. There's a few Aussies all looking similar with lots of bearish pressure on Friday. So we go to Aussie Swiss now on the daily. It's not oversold, but it's in a downtrend, and we had a very bearish day on Friday, indicating it's probably going to continue today. Similar thing, downtrend broken, good strong test of the 4 hour 50, and but straight back down below the 1 hour 50. So doing a fibs, this one looks a bit nicer than Aussie CAD, just a bit cleaner. But we have a pullback to the 1 hour 50, which will be where the 382 is in a few hours, and daily pivots here as well. So similar kind of thing. Stop behind the 0.75. And of course, if we've got the daily pivots in play, you can also do a quick pitch snatcher, a quick 1-to-1. It's always an option. Got the MACD. So we had the MACD was showing a strong divergence on this downtrend. We had this big pullback, and now we've got a very strong MACD convergence. So it's in our favor. It's saying this low here has a lot more momentum behind it. So that's looking positive for the downtrend to continue. So that's all looking good. So pitch snatcher could be on, or just the ACBB. This will be because it's the ACB. We've had to pull back to the 4 hour 50. That's the ACB. This is the ACBB, the first breakout that follows it, breaking the 1 hour 50. 4 hour 50 is now behind us. So we have that trade there. Looking like a possible setup soon. Aussie yen. On the daily, similar thing, a high test yesterday on Friday into the daily 20-50 zone, and looks like it's going to continue down today. And the hourly gives us this, again, a strong break of this downtrend. Broke the 4 hour 50, even came back and tested the daily 20, which is this red line. We saw that on the daily chart. And now it's breaking down back down with the 4 hour 50 and the 1 hour 50. So this is better in some ways than the other ones we looked at, because the 4 hour 50 and the 1 hour 50 are very close. We can take this as a CBO. CBO being the complete breakout of the 4 hour 50 and the 1 hour 50. The fibs don't line up as perfect as we'd like, but the 382 is in the vicinity. So entry around the 382 area, and the 4 hour 50 is way before our stop. So that's a good thing in our favour. And also being a CBO, we can put our stop behind the 618, which is this green line, and our fib. So we can have a tighter stop, which is always good because that means higher reward risk. So stops down to these lows, or even these lows of this run here, this run, or these lows here, and that's a good healthy 3%, and that could set up very soon. Aussie dollar was the next one, wasn't it? Aussie dollar, similar thing, very bearish on Friday. Being Aussie dollar, the US dollar having strength, the Aussie dollar having a lot of weakness. We've got a very strong downtrend, we are very oversold. So we've got to be very cautious. We're taking a short trade here today. The most obvious trade here is the pip snatcher. You do have an ACBB again, which you could take, or pip snatcher. Being so oversold, I'll be careful with the ACBB. Maybe just a quick 1-to-1 might be the way to go. So you can tighten the stop behind the R1. So take profit just before these lows and go in a quick 1-to-1. Let's around the pivot somewhere. So that could be a nice looking pip snatcher. Or you can always play the ACBB. Okay, yen. So we're seeing a theme occurring here. We're seeing Aussie weakness, and we're seeing some yen strength. Okay, yen, not particularly clean, but we had, let's just zoom in a little bit. So we had a bullish day on Thursday. Broke this trend line, kind of retested it, sits above it. Is that a doji to reverse down, or it's reverse so we have a lower price action, a short trade, or is that a trend continuation? Well, we'll have to look at the lower time frames to get some idea. We had a very reaction to the news here on Thursday. Drove the price higher. It's kind of been stalled in there since. That is setting up a ACBB. Again, we've had the ACB, the breakdown below the 4 hour 50, which actually happened back here. And it's just been going sideways, and then we had this big break up. So maybe that will continue. So that's not looking like a very clean one though. We've had the 382 from the fib. It was revisited. Well, you could say it revisited on Friday night, but it didn't really go anywhere. Went up, came back down again. Not looking like very nice price action, so I'm not really keen on this one, although it is a setup. I'll be cautious on that one. Stop behind the 0.75. Also has a 4 hour 50 before our stop, which is good, and the daily 20. But I'm not that keen on the price action, so I'm going to demote that to my secondary, and we'll move on. You're okay. You're okay. It's been a bit yucky recently. After it's quite nice trending a while ago, it's gone sideways. A bit of trending and a bit of sideways action. It's a bit messy. If you look at it, it's really gone nowhere in the last 2 weeks. But we've got in the last 5 days, we've got some positive bullish action. So we'll look on the lower time frames, just have a look. I can see a trend line here, which has been 1, 2, 3, okay, that one maybe 4, 5 touches. That's reasonably strong. Are we getting MACD divergences? It's losing a bit of momentum, but it's still okay. It's still positive. Still a higher high here on this higher high. So that's okay. So we could have a quick one-to-one pip snatcher today. I keep using the word quick because pip snatchers do often play out quickly in space of an hour or two. Sometimes less, sometimes more, but they can happen pretty quick. As you see, one big bullish candle and you can go straight to your take profit. 1 hour 50 is behind us, catching up. Euro CAD, so that won't happen for another 6, 7 hours. Give it time to go sideways a bit, pull back to the 1 hour 50, low test, quick one-to-one. A bit of quick pip snatcher. Looks okay. Yeah, we check the MACD, looks okay, so yeah, that's on my list. Euro pound. It's going a bit haywire recently, but we've had some downward pressure. We've got a wave 1, 2, this is a wave 3. Wave 3 tends to be the longest one, and as it's the longest one, it can also be broken up into 5 waves as well, even seen on the daily. Obviously, it's all fractal. So this could still be wave 3 going down, with Friday's pullback, just a little quick retest of the daily 50, which we saw. That's often what happens. It'll break through these EMAs and then come back and retest it before continuing on its journey. So maybe going down. We'll just check on the lower time frame, see if that agrees. Here's a big downtrend, and we've got Elliott wave here, wave 1, 2, 3, 4 pullback, and this could be wave 5 short. So the fib from the tops, the highs to the lows, 382. Not really much choice here. Then the other fib, that doesn't really count because it's got to be above the 4 hour 50 for a 4 hour strategy in the CBO. There, not really. So it's kind of where I said. 382 is a bit behind daily 50 and the hourly 50. It gapped down this morning. So maybe I'll just keep trending up. Euro pound again, another 6, 7, 8 hours to sort itself out before the UK opens, and we get some volume coming in from those guys. So pulling back maybe to just pass through the 1 hour 50 to the 382 entry short. So it's not a very clean setup, but there's definitely a CBO on offer there. So again, enter the 382, the red one, stop behind the 618, the green one, and take profit. Well, I'll put it there. I have no idea. Like a good place to put it. So this is wave 5. Let's do our fibs. This is our wave 3. We go from those highs to these lows, back to the highs here. We've kind of had the entry already on Friday, actually, so maybe it's not going to play out. And 618 is right up here somewhere, which is basically these lows. So it doesn't look quite so good now, does it? Okay, secondary. We want to see nice clean price action, nice clear fibs, clear price targets, all that stuff. Euro yen. Looking nice, bullish action the last few days, but it has hit this level, which I've readjusted a little bit, taking a bit higher. It now lines up with these candles here, so it could be a level. Just be aware of that. It's not a really particularly strong one. We've had a very bullish last few days. In the last week, we've had all these trend lines here, which are now just being messy. We've got a trend line up here, maybe. Not that clear. There's also a trend line up there, not that clear. Actually, that one's been rejected. Euro yen, has it been rejected? No, not quite. So that's not a trend line. Okay, so I'm thinking of maybe a quick pip snatcher here. The 1 hour 50 is quite a way behind because we've had a very strong run up. So we tested the pivot in the early hours of the day on the open. Come down, tested it, and now it's off. But that was on very low volume, so I wouldn't put too much into that. Turn the volume on, and you can see the volume non-existent on the pullback, and then a bit of volume on the run up. So maybe that's pip snatch has already been started by the start of the Asia session. But you may still come back for a pip snatcher. Probably the 1 hour 50 is too far behind to be any use. Keep an eye on it. I'll put it in secondary. All right, Kiwi CAD. Okay, we've had this on the daily. We've had this trend line here. Doesn't look like much, but it's been holding strong, strong. And it's tested again on Friday, and it's looking like a bearish candle. Today, it's still looking like it's going short. No oversold. MACD is still giving us. Oh no, it's getting lower. Okay, MACD is okay. So everything is pointing to lower prices. And this is that trend line, is it? Yes, this is that trend line, which I'll put on the 1 hour chart and just kind of fine-tuned it, and actually retested it on Friday. We tested it on Friday, strongly rejected it, pulled down. Again, we've got the 4 hour 50 and the 1 hour 50 broken, which is nice. So this will be a CBO. As I said, we can now have a tighter stop on the CBO. Nice entry on the 382. This is looking good. And this is a wave 1. So wave 1 will give us, is it wave 1 or is that wave 1, 2? I think this is wave 1. So that's looking pretty good for a good wave 3 short. So we can take potentially, I've got these take profit at these lows over here, but you might even take a bit further down to 1.272 for wave 3, 0.272 fib extension. And that would be 4%, so that'd be a nice one. So that's a good one to keep an eye on. That's probably one of my favourites. Kiwi Swiss, probably not dissimilar. Again, retest the day 20 zone, day 2050 zone, and a very bearish day on Friday. Getting down to these lows probably. I have sold, not really. MACD, not really. So that could be a bearish day today. Similar kind of setup to the last one. We've got a pullback. This time to the day 20, breaking through the 1 hour 50 and the 4 hour 50. 1 hour 50 the red line, 4 hour 50 the blue line, and when 382 lines up perfectly with the daily pivot. So fib 382 entry, stop behind 618. That looks good. And stop down around these lows somewhere. This is looking more like a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, isn't it? A bit clearer. Maybe it's just a bit of noise from the daily 20, which just broke through. It kind of went through it, came back, retested it, and then went down lower. Yeah, that's a nice looking trade, so keep an eye on that one. A few nice looking Kiwi trades on maybe today. And there's some news for Kiwi on Tuesday morning, early my time, which will be finished before I start trading. But I wouldn't want to trade through that. So if you do enter a Kiwi trade, just be aware that there's news early Tuesday morning or late Monday night for some people. Right, so Kiwi USD, similar thing, bearish candle, on Friday. Not looking so good day because it's kind of stopped at this strong support level, which may prove some resistance for it. But similar setup, we can do a CVO short from fib from the highest to the lows, enter at 382, lines up the daily pivot, stop 618, take it down to these lows, which is 1.3%. The lows of these wicks a little bit more, or a bit lower. But remember, there is some kind of level here. If you look at that level there, that looks like something, doesn't it? Because that lines up with our level on the daily chart. So this level here. So when you see a level that does that, I wouldn't want to trade through that. So I would suggest going for Kiwi CAD or Kiwi Swiss and put that one as a backup. Because I would personally put that profit maybe about here somewhere, which is only 1.1 to 1. Much better looking on the other Kiwi pairs. Right, that is it for ones which are sitting up right now. There's a few which might line up in later today or tomorrow. Aussie Kiwi, we've had this great deceleration, a gap down this morning, and it's looking bullish already. So deceleration hinting at reversal. Maybe it'll come back and retest this daily 50. Maybe it'll just break through and keep going long, or maybe it's on its way down. So we look at the weekly, we can see we've just tested the weekly 20, and maybe it's rejecting that level. The overboughtness has kind of gone away a bit. Not so overbought now, it's almost back to the halfway line. So maybe we're in for the trend to continue up, or maybe it'll just come back, test the daily 50 and trend down. What does the daily give us? No MACD, there's no MACD there to hint at that reversal. It's now looking almost oversold. So probably have it's so oversold, it's looking like a downtrend in the daily. Looking at the RSI. So maybe we'll have a test the daily 50 and a continue down. Anyway, let's go back to at the hourly chart, and we can see it's broken this trend line, which is probably not the strongest trend line, but testing the 1 hour 50. Haven't broken it yet, so we're going to wait for a break of the 1 hour 50. Pull up, we're not as high as that. Pull that down here, and then we can enter up to the 4 hour 50 and the daily 50. So that could be something for later. Euro Swiss, strong bullish day on Thursday, nothing on Friday, still at this level, so there's something there. Some kind of level there maybe, so be aware of that. And moving to the 1 hour chart, we can see it's come up. Right, so this is looking like a possible pip snatcher long, but if we look at the MACD, very, very massive divergence. Pretty big, right? Because this is same height, same highs, double top, and then this is really much, much lower. So that's looking like that trend has finished. We're going to go down, which is why I'm suggesting that we wait for the pullback, the break of this 1 hour 50, pull back to test the 1 hour 50, and then trade down to 4 hour 50. Set it forward to later today, maybe, or if not tomorrow. Pound Kiwi, similar kind of thing, really. We've had a very bullish day on Thursday, then stalling on Friday. So what do we have on our 1 hour chart? Again, very similar. We've got a massive run up and then another run up, which is, although this isn't as high on the price action, it's much, much lower on the MACD. So Looks like a MACD divergence, not quite as clean, but it looks like it's a divergence. And we'll wait for this to break down below to that trend line. That trend line is quite strong, so it's looking good. Break through that, retest the 1 hour 50, and then trade down to the 4 hour 50. It's looking like a short trade here somewhere, maybe. Top will be up here. Profit will be down where the 4 hour 50 is. Last one we look at today is Kiwi Yen. Another Kiwi one. So we've had pullback, retest of the daily 50, looking like it's going to go short. Which agrees with our thinking on Kiwi CAD and Kiwi Swiss and Kiwi dollar, right? So it all seems to be in play, right? But we don't have a very clean break and retest of the 1 hour 50 here. It is a break and retest, but it's a bit yucky. Mostly on Friday night. Probably most people have finished for the week by then, and it's now retesting the daily 50. So either we'll get, probably most likely we'll get a breakout. If it does break down, it will test the 4 hour 50 first. We can take this down here somewhere. The break, it probably will go as far as the 4 hour 50. It's unlikely it'll just come just down here somewhere in the reverse. Probably going to 4 hour 50, pull back, probably about there somewhere. So you can then play that as an IBOC. I mean, your stop would be there. The IBOC means that we've already reached our 4 hour 50. This shouldn't be very good, is it? Let's get that better. That's better than that. So that's what we'll have, something like this. So if it breaks down, comes down to here, then the fib maybe from there. Yeah, that's okay. Bit messy. It comes down to about the 4 hour 50, bounces back, enter on 382, doesn't quite line up, maybe enter a little bit further up here, break through, trade it short, we're trading through the 4 hour 50. Either that or you wait for it to break the 4 hour 50, come back and retest it. Take a bit longer because it's a 4 hour play, 4 hour candles we're looking at for the break and retest. For the 4 hour 50, that's a CBO. Now we have a fib, which will be down here somewhere. We'll go down here actually. Or it depends. Depends where this break happens. It may break from there. Anyway, something like that. Break down, pull back, hit the 4 hour 50. The 1 hour 50 will catch up. That'll give us a nice entry, and we can trade it down to these lows. Something to look forward to. Well, that could be the IBO could play out today. CBO probably tomorrow, late today or tomorrow. Okay, good. Is my camera going to work today? Let's have a look. Whoa, we're in business today. Right, I'll just stop my share. Right. Okay, so there's a few things to look at today. Kiwi pairs look nice, don't they? There's a few of those which could set up nicely. And I wish you all the best in the markets today. I hope you found that useful. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Take care.